You ever stop and think about why you grab the same brand of chips or toothpaste or soda almost on autopilot? It's really not an accident. Nope. It's actually a super carefully crafted strategy. So let's pull back the curtain and dive into the playbook that these iconic, everyday brands use to win our loyalty and basically demand a permanent spot in our lives.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with that split-second decision you make in a supermarket aisle. Then we'll look at how brands win that first glance, how they tap into our psychology to create desire, and finally, how they forge a bond that turns a simple product into a lifelong habit.
You know, everything we're about to talk about, it pretty much all boils down to just one number. 3, as in 3 seconds.
It sounds wild, doesn't it? But in the world of fast-moving consumer goods, FMCG, 3 seconds is the whole entire ballgame. Let's break down how that fight is fought, and more importantly, how it's won.
Okay, welcome to the front lines. Seriously, the modern supermarket aisle is basically a war zone of colors, logos, and promises. And in this battle for your attention, brands have just a tiny moment to make their case.
Just picture it for a second. You're standing there, and it is an overwhelming amount of choice. You are not making some deeply rational, well-researched decision. You are acting on pure instinct, emotion, and habit. And guess what? The world's biggest brands have absolutely perfected the art of influencing that instinct.
So here's the key takeaway. We buy these things fast, right? Often on impulse. Our choice is driven way more by how a brand makes us feel than by some logical breakdown of its features. And once we've made that choice a few times, boom, it becomes a habit, a comfortable routine. That's the trifecta that brands like your favorite coffee or cereal are gunning for.
So if the entire battle is only 3 seconds long, how in the world do you get an edge? Well, the smartest brands, they start the fight long before you even set foot in the store. Let's see how they build up that initial momentum.
They create hype. I mean, think about those limited edition Oreo flavors, or a new soda from Coke. Before it's even out, they're dropping little teasers, slowly revealing the mystery, and getting samples into the hands of influencers. By the time that product actually hits the shelves, you're not just discovering it, you're actively searching for it.
But that pre-launch buzz, that only gets you in the door. Ultimately, the product has to win the battle on its own, right there in that incredibly crowded aisle. And this is where we meet the silent salesperson. For so many of these products, there's no TV commercial or social media ad right at that moment of decision. There is only the box, the bottle, or the bag. That packaging has to do all the heavy lifting. And here's how they pull it off. First, shelf visibility. Does the design just pop? Think about the iconic Pringles can. You can spot that thing from across the entire store. Then there's color psychology. Does it make you feel something? It is no accident that fast food often uses red to trigger your appetite, or that health foods go for green. I mean, the right color alone can boost brand recognition by up to 80%. And finally, does the packaging signal that this is a premium product? All of this happens in a split second. Okay, so a brand has caught your eye. They've won the first second. Now they've got to go deeper. They have to move from just getting your attention to creating genuine desire. And this is where the psychology gets really fascinating. We are just hardwired to want what we can't have, or at least what we think we might not be able to get soon. This is the principle of scarcity, and it is one of the most powerful tools in the entire branding playbook. It creates that fear of missing out, FOMO. And brands get incredibly skillful at using this fear. They'll release products for a short time only, they'll create those seasonal flavors that you feel like you have to buy right now, and they design collectible packaging that makes you want to get them all. Just think of Kit Kat in Japan with its hundreds of regional flavors. It turns a simple candy bar into a full-on treasure hunt. But desire isn't just about scarcity. The brands that really last, the ones that endure, they create a much deeper bond. They tap directly into our core human emotions. They tap into nostalgia, reminding us of our childhoods. They insert themselves into our family rituals, like that specific brand of coffee every morning. And they become synonymous with celebration, like Cadbury's famous slogan, "Kuch Meetha Ho Jaye," which basically means, let's have something sweet. These brands aren't just selling you a product, they are selling you a feeling. So this leads us to the final and honestly the most powerful stage of branding. How do you go from just a one-time purchase to totally unbreakable, lifelong loyalty? Well, you make your customers feel like they belong to something bigger. The ultimate goal here is to stop thinking about individual customers and start building a community, a tribe of people who are united by their love for the brand. This completely transforms the relationship from something transactional to something deeply emotional. So how do they do it? They use personalization. Remember Coca-Cola's Share a Coke campaign that put our names on bottles? They run social campaigns that encourage you to actually participate. And, crucially, they foster a culture of user-generated content, or UGC. That's when you, the user, start creating the content, sharing your experience, and basically becoming a genuine advocate for the brand.
And the result of all this is the holy grail for any brand: habit integration. This is the point when the product is no longer a choice you're making, but it's just a part of your life. It's the Maggi noodles you cook without thinking, the Nescafe you start your day with, every single day.
And this habit is only possible because it's built on a foundation of trust. And where does that trust come from? One thing: consistency. The product has to deliver the same quality, the same taste, the same experience every single time. When that happens, you stop even questioning your purchase. You just buy.
Wow. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from pre-launch hype all the way to a deep emotional connection. So let's bring it all together into one simple but really powerful formula.
This right here. This is the playbook. It starts with creating hype to get you to notice, then winning that first glance with powerful packaging. From there, it's about forging a real connection through emotion in scarcity, building unwavering trust through consistency, and finally, turning that trust into an unbreakable habit. The sum of all these parts, that is true brand loyalty.
And that leaves us with one final thought. Take a minute and think about the brands you buy without even thinking about it. The ones you feel a genuine connection to. Now that you know the formula, can you see exactly how they did it to you?